All right, welcome everyone. We are back with another exciting match of StarCraft 2 from the NESPA StarCraft 2 Open that took place last November of 2010. And we're going to go into a match of Lights versus TheForgotten on MLG Antigua Shipyard from round 2 of the winner's bracket of that tournament. So we're going to go ahead and get in here and start that right now. And we can see already that right now we have Lights spawning as the pink Zerg in the top position, facing off against the Forgotten in the cross position as the purple Terran. I almost said Protoss. He's definitely not a Protoss player. He is a Terran player. Now, like I said, this is from round 2 of the winner's bracket. The winner of this will continue on through the winner's bracket to, hopefully get to the finals and such. This is double elimination style tournament, so the loser does go down into an elimination bracket and can continue to try to fight their way up from there. Before this game really gets off to a big start, I would like to give a big shout out to our sponsors for the event. Last November we had a LAN style tournament in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we were able to actually do that in large part because of our sponsors, largely because of QuickTech Computers. That's QuickTech, T-E-Q is how you spell tech in that name. You can check them out at quicktech.net. They do custom builds of gaming rigs. They can also advise you with any technical questions or anything like that you might have. They are headquartered here out of Lincoln, Nebraska, but they are soon going to be doing online orders and that sort of thing. They want to kind of branch out into the gaming market at large, and so check them out. Give them a call if you have any questions about your gaming rig, or if you're thinking about buying or building a gaming rig yourself. They definitely very knowledgeable, can help you out with that. Also a big shout out to Greenfield's Pancake House, Da Vinci's Pizza, and Champions Fun Center for also supporting and promoting the event. A big shout out to those guys for supporting esports in general in the Midwest. And so on that note, we're going to go back into this game. And so this is a ZVT on this map. I like to, as you can see, Lights has gone for that gas before pool opener, and I like this opener in almost every matchup. I feel like it's the most standard safest sort of opener. If you can go hatch first, but I feel like that leaves you pretty vulnerable, especially in ZVT, to 2-rack sort of aggression. You can get bunker rushed, which can be really annoying, especially if they build the bunker back in the minerals and such, where you can't really get to it, and sometimes you don't see it right away. So I like this decision by Lights right away to go for early gas, then pool, and get that speed started as soon as possible. Now you see him taking guys off gas as soon as speed is started, and that allows him to get a little bit more mineral income to help him get his expansion up, because he didn't go hatch first. He still wants to get that expansion up to have the production he needs and to get that economic advantage that he needs as a Zerg player. Making just a couple lings to go out here and poke and do some scouting. Now, as we see, the Forgotten has gone for 2-racks opener, so had our friend Lights gone for that hatch first, he might have been in a trickier situation. But the Forgotten has scouted, hasn't seen a hatch first, so he's not going to go out and push or do anything too silly, knowing that he could lose these Marines if there's a good number of lings out on the field. So he's just going to kind of sit back, play it safe, get some gas, and start teching up and probably expand soon himself. Seeing 2 spine crawlers go down right away for Lights, I also like that decision. He's going to be able to move those down here into his natural as soon as it finishes, and that's going to help him be a little bit more secure from any sort of Hellion pressure, especially if he closes off some of this space with some evolution chambers or something like that, maybe a couple extra queens. Help him to deal with any kind of that early Hellion harassment. Do see a factory going down right now for the Forgotten. It looks like we may be seeing tank marine early kind of push here. No indications of him wanting to take an expansion just yet. He hasn't taken his second gas yet either, which is actually kind of curious, because if you are going to go tank marine, tanks aren't exactly cheap on gas. I believe they're 100 gas each. But you also need to get that tech lab and get the siege tech down to really get the full use of them. But as I say that, we actually see a starport going down, so he might be just going for Marine medevac sort of style. There's a tech lab going down on the barracks, so we'll have to wait a bit and see what exactly he's hoping to do with that. Maybe we'll see Banshees with that tech lab, maybe an add-on switch. I'm not quite sure what to expect just yet, but do have a Baneling nest that is just finished up for lights. As you can see, he's got this second queen done already. I would like to see him perhaps move those spine crawlers down. He's going to go ahead and build an evolution chamber in his main and start getting some upgrades here in a moment. See a third barracks started now for the Forgotten. Doesn't look like we're going to see an add-on switch. Going to get STEM started right away on that tech lab barracks, and not really seeing much use put out, much use being made of this starport or this factory quite yet. So I'm a little curious to see what his go-to plan is with that. Do have these spine crawlers moving down into the natural. It's going to help him feel a little bit more secure. Going to help lights feel more secure, I should say. And these lings going to go ahead and move out, do a little bit more poking perhaps. He has secured this watchtower, so he has pretty decent vision of anything that might be coming out of the Terran base. Would maybe like to see a couple lings at the front. But he does have, spotterlings at the third and at what could be a secret back expansion here if Terran decides to lift off. Now it looks like we're going to see Marine Marauder medevac out of Forgotten. Something that's very common in TVP, not as common against Zerg, just because the bioplay gets shut down fairly hard by good Baneling control. And so I'll be curious to see how he makes this work out for him. Light's taking a third right now. I'm going to go ahead and poke at the natural of the Forgotten with his lings. Now it is the 9-minute mark, as you can see right now, and there's no expansion down for the Forgotten. So Lights has got to be feeling a little curious as to what's going on right now. He's going to go ahead and poke the front and see a ton of supply depots up there, actually, making this wall at the same time very secure and also very tempting to bust and really supply block your opponent. But he's actually just going to pull back and not do any pressure. I think that's a great idea. He knows his opponent is only on one base still, and so he wants to be very careful about being able to defend any sort of one base all-in that might be coming here in the near future. So, and that's exactly what it looks like we're going to see here in a moment here from the Forgotten. Going to move out with a good number of Marines and Marauders, one medevac. Not actually going to be able to do a whole lot in terms of helping this push out very much. And he's going to walk right by all these things. Never mind, he's going to go ahead and engage these. These Banelings are going to go in here and connect, and that's what I was talking about, doing tons of damage to these Marines of this army, basically killing half the army with just a handful of Banelings there, and effectively shutting this push down entirely. And wouldn't be surprised to see the Forgotten decide to pull back here and maybe secure an expansion, having lost that force that he was going to push with. In the meantime, Light's making a lot of lings, plus one melee attack, almost finished, just now finishing, I should say. It looks like he's just starting to spread his creep right now. Not a huge problem right now. He's definitely got the advantage at this point, even though the food counts are pretty even. These lings are actually going to do fairly well against this very small bio force, and he's up two bases against his opponent. So Forgotten looks like he's going to go ahead and push with this small force anyway. Going to take out the Overlord and slowly kind of edge his way over across the map. Lots of Banelings being morphed right now. A Spire going down, as well as Baneling speed and some more upgrades going down for Lights. And here's a small engagement. These lings are going to be able to clean this up without too much trouble at all. Just devastating this Bioforce, leaving only a medevac left to tell the tale. And medevac's just going to go ahead and there we go. She's going to turn around right there instead of going and flying to her death as well. A bit of a predicament now for the Forgotten, as he is still stuck on that one base, has a command center finishing, and will probably be going to lift that off down here in this position. but in the meantime, he is pretty far behind economically. Yeah, I mean, 25 workers to the 41 of lights. So even though the food counts were pretty even there for a while, the Forgotten is actually incredibly behind at this point. Now we have a big push going down here at the front. Tons and tons of Lings just kind of headbutting themselves against that wall. Not really wanting to go in and do anything. A couple Banelings going to go in now and try to bust this front. Going in, going to kill a ton of Marines, kill a lot of supply depots. Here come the Lings now streaming in. A misclick there, accidentally target firing this factory. And so these Lings are all actually just going to get cleaned up without really doing any damage. Just take out the barracks there, actually, from the burning damage. Kind of funny, actually. So that push actually not going nearly as well as it could. But like I said, Light's still in a commanding position right now. Throwing down a macro hatch, I like that idea. He's going on a very Ling heavy sort of style. He probably needs to start making workers again and saturating this natural and third. And you know, honestly, he has seen that his opponent really doesn't have much and hasn't been able to expand. He could take a fourth if he wanted to as well. Has mutas kind of trickling out right now. Several Lings also in production still. Well, not right now, but has been making Lings. Note that he is 2-1 on these Lings versus the 0-0 of the upgrades of the Forgotten. That's actually going to play a huge role in any future engagements. Forgotten getting his wall back up, building those depots there at the front again, getting this barracks up again. Still hasn't opted to take any expansions anywhere yet, and we are approaching the 16-minute mark. We do have a Banshee, pardon me, in the main of Lights, picking off workers. The burrow has been finished, so there's a bunch of burrowed Lings and workers here in the main. So this Banshee is actually not going to get a ton of damage. Well, pardon me, 17 kills on this Banshee. I don't know how long this has been going on and I haven't noticed. No detection out right now for Lights, which is kind of puzzling, as he does have a lair. He could make an Overseer with any of these Overlords if he wanted to. This Banshee is just going to continue to be annoying while these mutas are going to kind of, just wait for the energy to run out. Here's one Overseer finally making the trek over. That Banshee is not going to last long. And a second Banshee actually coming out now for the Forgotten. Going to hopefully get as many kills as his buddy earlier. And so we will see what becomes of that, I suppose. But this game has kind of taken an odd turn for the incredibly passive. This Banshee going to come in here cloaked, start picking off Evo chambers. There is a detector over here though, so this Banshee is not going to actually do any damage. And so now Light's going to go ahead and move these Lings forward and just kind of chill for the time being. Both players is kind of relaxing. Not sure that either of them really know what they want to do at this point anymore. Lights could end this game if he wanted to. He actually could be maxed right now as well if he wanted to, but he's just gonna kind of chill and let the Forgotten, take his natural. He's gonna fly this command center over with the one SCV in it and gently land it down here next to this automaton T-1000, who's just sitting here looking on, wondering, he's contemplating the meaning of life and whether, robots actually have feelings and those important questions and that sort of thing. These SCVs going to finally come down and do some mining, and meanwhile these Lings just kind of having a picnic here next to their other automaton buddy. I wonder if these two automatons are in communication with each other, just kind of like, hey, there's a bunch of Lings out here, you know that? And he's like, yeah, well, this expansion just barely came down. That's about 20 minutes. So these three Lings going to go in, see that there is indeed still a very large army of Terrans just chillaxing. These mutas are like, yeah, whatever, I can go in here and poke around at this, do a little fancy micro stutter step sort of stuff, and that's going to move the entire Terran army into action. They were taking a coffee break there for a while, just kind of chillaxing, talking, trading war stories, all that good stuff. They're going to, kill some Mutalisks pretty much for free a few times there. However, this was all a clever diversion by Lights to keep the Terran army away from this juicy wall, so that these banelings, these white light bulb banelings, can continue to sit here and talk to their Zergling brethren, and have the automaton tell his buddy about, this fantastic gathering. Well, I'm really kind of curious when someone's going to decide to attack someone here in this game. More Mutalisks streaming out. Do you have upgrades on those mutas started? Here we go. The Forgotten has decided it is time to take a very small portion of my army around the edge here and try to get these Mutalisks that are just chillaxing. The mutas are like, uh-oh, oh no, these guys are outside of the base. I do not know what to do about it. These lings and blings could come and kill all of these with no trouble at all. But no, we're gonna fly back home. We're gonna come back here and gaze in awe at this creep spread, and let the Terran task force just kind of come back here into the natural. New little wall of supply depots getting put up there. I actually kind of like that. It closes off some space and such. But it's you can do the same thing with bunkers or extra production. But anyway, we got looks like Lights has decided that he's gonna possibly, there's a remote chance that he's gonna come in and do some harassment, and then these lings and banelings might actually run into the natural. Now he's gonna go in here, he's gonna pick off this armory. There's gonna be no Thors for this Terran player. This one missile turret is gonna save the day. No, it's not. And these mutas gonna fly over into the natural, but oh my word, there are a ton of Marines, and by a ton I mean just a handful of Marines that could easily die to this many mutas, and they're gonna run away in terror, and actually over micro quite a bit. These banelings, the banelings are gonna move. They're gonna go and kill this small force, and actually not be the most effective trade that could have happened just there, as a lot of them did detonate on those front marauders. But finally these lings have decided that they are sick and tired of waiting around. They're going to run into this natural and kill everything. This command center is not going to lift off. It is going to be just chewed to bits. These banshees are going to slowly, ever so slowly, no they're not, they're gonna not kill those Zerglings. And the Mutalisks are going to come in and do a bit of poking again. Now, the Forgotten has no energy because he did not make that an orbital command, so he cannot scan all these Zerglings and kill them while they're burrowed in his natural. It is very important to note that he cannot do any scanning right now. These lings are going to come down here, find an army. Oh, the burrowed lings from behind. The front lings not going to actually attack. There they go. They're going to come in and actually pull some weight and attack this bio army. These banshees are just going to keep killing stuff until the Mutalisks finally decide to come in and clean everything up. And Lights has an opportunity here in which he could run into the main and kill everything. And he's going to just send his mutas in and force the GG from the Forgotten. So there we have game one. We have Lights taking game one in this series from round 2 of the winner's bracket from the Nespa SC2 Open. We will see if the Forgotten can come back and tie the series up, or if Lights will in his intimidating fashion, put his opponent down into the elimination bracket. So stick around. We'll be back with game 2 here in a bit.